All right, good afternoon. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is November 2nd, 2016. It is 5:01 p.m. And you are at or listening to the meeting of the Local Agency Formation Commission of the County of Kern. Welcome, everybody. We will go ahead and get started with roll call.
Commissioner Fowler?
Present.
Commissioner McKibben?
Present.
Commissioner Scrivener? Commissioner Sanders? Commissioner Rivera?
Here.
Commissioner Mello?
Here.
Commissioner McGuire? Commissioner Couch?
Here.
Commissioner Garola?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could please join me in standing as Supervisor Couch leads us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Next item is item 3A, approval of the minutes for our September 28, 2016 special meeting. If I could get a motion if there are no comments or changes.
Motion.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
All ayes, motion passed.
I just noticed my note suggested I do those as one, and I ignored it anyway. So, next item is 3B, approval of the minutes for the October 12th, 2016 special meeting. If
Motion.
thank you.
Second.
You even kept it consistent too. Please cast your votes.
All ayes, motion passed.
Thank you. Next item is item 4, public comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the commission on any matter not on this agenda and over which the commission has jurisdiction. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Does any member of the public wish to make a comment? Seeing none, we will move on to item 5A, public hearing regarding the Greenfield County Water District Annexation Number 47. Mr. Knox.
Thank you, Chairman. We have here Greenfield County Water District, annexation number 47. This proposal was submitted on May 31st, 2016 to annex approximately 30 acres to provide water service. There is no functional overlap with any other water provider in this area. The proposal is within the city of Bakersfield's boundaries as both zoned and planned for residential and commercial development. The project is just east of Highway 99 off Taft Highway and Chevalier. The land is mostly vacant with one house. Nearby is mostly vacant land. There are no businesses. There is a business catty corner on Taft Highway. To the west is a mobile home park. Other parcels near the annexation do not meet the definition of a disadvantaged unincorporated community. No negative impacts on the surrounding area have been identified or brought to the staff's attention. The ground is not currently being farmed unless you're in the market for tumbleweeds. The boundary conforms to the assessor's parcel. There are no conflicts with the city's general plan, regional transportation plan, or any specific plan. The owner of the single home on the property has been contacted, but has neither consented nor protested. Therefore, the proposal does not have 100% landowner consent and will be subject to notice, hearing, and protest hearing. The applicant has signed an indemnification agreement. CEQA is met by mitigated negative declaration and notice of exemption adopted by the district. The commission must take into account the environmental document in consideration when you cast your votes. The alternative action would be not to annex into Greenfield County Water Service. Without water service, this would prohibit future growth and would be inconsistent with orderly development and efficient delivery of services. Therefore, is the recommendation of the executive officer, based on the work of the former executive officer, that the commission consider the environmental document and approve the proposed subject to protest hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, I will bring it back to the commission for comments and decision.
I'll move the recommendation.
Second.
Thank you. Please cast your votes.
All ayes, motion passed.
Next item is item 6A, public project review for annexation number 85 in the city of Tehachapi. Mr. Schroeder.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself. That's one of my clients, so I'm going to step out.
Okay, Mr. Knox, it's all yours.
City of Tehachapi annexation number 85. This proposal was submitted on October 20th, 2015 to annex approximately 150 acres of uninhabited land into the city of Tehachapi. The proposed area is south and west of Highway 58 at the first off-ramp into Tehachapi as you're driving up from the valley. This property is in the city's sphere of influence and has been planned for in the city's general plan. The land has been pre-zoned M1 light manufacturing, C3 central commercial, and OS open space. The area is vacant except for a county road and a Caltrans yard, which is not included in this proposal. The property has two landowners who have both requested and consented to the city's annexation. The applicant has requested that notice, hearing, and protest hearing be waived as allowed by Government Code Section 56663. CEQA is being met with a subdivision of a mitigated negative declaration by the applicant. The commission must take into account the environmental document in consideration when casting your votes. The property tax exchange has been agreed to by the city and county. The annexation overlaps with a county service area, but the CSA has not been collecting taxes nor providing services for well over a decade. I will discuss the inactive CSA with the county and possibly come back to you with a separate action at a later date. No negative impacts on the surrounding properties has been identified. The property is adjacent to existing commercial development. The boundaries of this proposal were not consistent with the assessor's parcel map. It took some time and negotiation, but the parcel was eventually split where the highway divides the property. The property owners, the city, the assessor, county engineering, survey, and permit services have all agreed that their concerns have been addressed. The applicant has submitted a plan outlining how to provide the services for this area. There is no ag conversion. There is no conflict with general plan, transportation plan, or any specific plan. The applicant has agreed to indemnify LAFCo in this matter. The alternative to this would be to leave the property in the county to be developed, which would cause inefficient delivery of services. Therefore, it's the recommendation of the executive officer, again based on the former executive officer's work, to waive the protest hearing and approve the annexation.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for comments and action.
I'll move the recommendation.
Second.
Thank you. Please cast your votes.
All ayes, motion passed.
Thank you. Next item is 6B, a public project review for the City of Bakersfield annexation number 662 and county service area number 43, detachment A. Mr. Knox.
Yes, this is an item from the City of Bakersfield, Castro number 6, annexation number 662, includes a detachment A from CSA number 43, which makes this a reorganization. This proposal was submitted on June 29th, 2016 to annex approximately 5 acres with a house and miscellaneous structures and detach from CSA 43 along the same boundaries. The annexation is south of Bell Terrace, north of Kingsley Land, and west of Castro. CSA 43 provides street lighting and fire hydrant services. The area is zoned residential in the county and has been pre-zoned residential by the City of Bakersfield. The City of Bakersfield has entered into a master property tax agreement with the County of Kern. Both the city and the county have indicated that the proposal fits the criteria of the agreement. The boundary of the annexation conforms to the assessor's parcels. There is no conflicts identified with the city's general plan, transportation plan, or any specific plan. The City of Bakersfield, as lead agency, has prepared and adopted a mitigated negative declaration for this project. The commission must take the environmental document into consideration when casting your votes. This is an infill development project. There are irregular boundaries to this proposal. Other property owners adjacent and nearby were contacted, and no interest was shown in annexing these properties. The proposal is consistent with the Commission's policies in that the site is contiguous to the existing city limits included in their sphere of influence and does not convert prime farmland. Due to the size of the annexation, less than 10 acres, the rule for annexing disadvantaged unincorporated communities does not apply here. The applicant has signed an indemnification agreement with LAFCo. Their property has one landowner who has requested and consented to the city's annexation. The applicant has requested that notice, hearing, and protest hearing be waived as allowed by County Government Code Section 56663. Therefore, is a recommendation of executive officer, once again based on the former executive officer's work, to waive the protest hearing and approve the annexation.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this particular item, 6B? Come on forward. Please state your name.
Darcy Larman with McIntosh and Associates representing the property owner. I just wanted the commission to be aware of the fact that we not only posted public hearing signs, sent out certified letters to the adjacent property owners, but at the pre-zoning, at the Planning Commission, the residents, a number of the residents appeared and were concerned that they would be forced to annex into the city of Bakersfield. Council member Parlier and the Community Development Director and McIntosh held a neighborhood meeting and with the neighbors who were concerned about being forced to annex, and we allayed their fears, and I'm just here to answer any questions, but I wanted you to be aware of the fact that we not only notified them by mail, but met with all of the neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for comment and action.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Please cast your votes.
All ayes, motion passed.
Thank you. Next item is 7 commission items. There's one particular thing I wanted to ask of Mr. Knox, and that was where we were on the special districts front and filling that vacancy.
Thank you, Chairman. Currently, well, let me back up a second. Unfortunately, the special districts seat, special district seat is open due to the passing of former Commissioner Mel McLaughlin. That opens up a seat that needs to be filled. To do that, we hold an election. And to do that, we need the special districts to give us names of people that want to possibly be on the commission and go for a vote. That vote is currently active and ends on Friday. So at Friday, currently we have one person who's submitted a nomination. If we have more, we will go to a vote of all the special districts for that seat. With just one, it'll be a done deal. So that's where we are at the moment. So we should have either someone to place very soon or have an election.
Commissioner Fowler.
Is Mrs. Sanders automatically continuing in her role as alternate?
Commissioner Sanders is the one applying for the seat. If she's the only one, or she wins the seat, then the alternate now becomes open, and we have to start the process again for the alternate.
Got it. Any other questions? Okay, thank you for that. We will move on to
Wait a minute. I don't have a question. I want to just say that the conference, LAFCo conference last week was good. I was the only one that went on the mobile workshop. And I think Lake Isabella has more water than the lake over there that's feeding Santa Barbara and Montecito. They're down to 7%. And the only reason they're 7% is because they keep getting state water because they have to send water down to some landowners. So it was interesting to see how they're going to continue this. And there really wasn't that much of an answer of how, but other than state water. So, and we found out if ducks walk like a duck and if they quack like a duck, then they must be a duck.
Oh, well, it sounds like it was time and energy well spent. Does any other member of the commission wish to make a comment?
A quick comment. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Knox for joining us and acknowledge the fact he was able to get the word tumbleweeds into his first presentation. Mrs. Moore was never able to do that. Nice having you here.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is 8A under general business. That is the approval of claims list number 16-10.
Move approval.
Thank you. Please cast your votes. Oh, did I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end. What do you think, Mr. Knox? Are you going to come back? Do you still like us?
If
You
it's
think you
always-
made the right decision?
If it's always this easy, yes, this will be great.
Uh,
Looking forward to the challenge, though.
Well, welcome aboard. Kern County and our residents are lucky to have you, and we're excited that you'll be filling Miss Moore's shoes for however long you're here. Thank you all. Have a good night.